Angie.
And I am Easton.
And today on the Food Hero Cooking Show, we are making vegetarian chili. You ready to get started?
Yeah.
What do we need to do?
Wash our hands.
All right, let's go. All right, our hands are clean and we're ready to go. Okay, so you and I, we read through the recipe ahead of time, right? And we checked to make sure we had everything, and I already did a little bit of chopping on some of our veggies. So I actually have, I have the onion in here, I have the garlic in here, so I have 2 cloves of garlic, I have 1 medium onion, I have the bell pepper, and it says green bell pepper, but we didn't have green, right? What we had were these beautiful, 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 these are actually called lunchbox peppers, and we get these from one of our favorite local farmers, right? And so that's what I put in there instead, and I'm actually going to chop another one of those to get that in there. I also have the mushrooms in there, and with the mushroom, what I did is I just diced them really, really fine. You can dice them fine or use a food processor. Mushrooms are meaty, and so this is going to kind of take the place of the meat in this recipe, and I like to dice them really, really fine or pulse them in a food processor. Just because it kind of gives more of that texture of meat. But feel free if you want to just slice your mushrooms. This is just the way I like to do it. Either way is fine. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to saute these for about 6 to 8 minutes. So I'm going to get this remaining bell pepper cut up to put in there, Aislinn. And while I do that, would you like to measure the spices in the pinch bowl? Okay. So do you want to go ahead and read what spices you're going to put in the pinch bowl? Kind of tell us all as you're doing it.
1 teaspoon of dried oregano. Now 1 teaspoon of ground cumin.
Veggies, fruits, and 1 pot meat.
1 teaspoon of chili powder.
And your older sister likes extra chili powder sometimes, huh?
Yeah.
She usually adds that at the end. Do you want to do the 1 teaspoon or do you want to add extra now?
Maybe not extra yet.
Stick with the 1 teaspoon for now and then we can taste it?
Yeah.
That's a good tip, huh? Taste what you're making and then you can add spices and seasonings to your own family's liking, right?
Yep.
Okay, and I want to add too, just make sure, I want to mention this. Before we started, I washed the bell peppers and wash the mushrooms. So you always want to wash your fresh produce before you get started. Super, super important to do that.
Hey Mom, can I mix this?
Yeah.
The Popeye smoothies, pretty chill.
Okay, I think we've got our vegetables softened, our mushrooms and our sweet peppers and our onion. So Aislinn and our garlic. What I need to have you do, we're going to add all the rest of the ingredients, and that includes we're going to add stewed tomatoes, okay, and I actually got some with diced green chilies in them. Tomato sauce, okay, so we have an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. It's a 15-ounce can of stewed tomatoes, and you can use diced tomatoes too. Either one is actually very fine. I actually use diced tomatoes, but same thing pretty much, pretty close. That works. And then at this point, we're going to add our spices. Do you want to grab the spices, Aislinn? Oh. Careful, those beautiful spices. We're actually also going to add 1 cup of corn. Okay, and this can be fresh, frozen, or canned, but today we have frozen corn. Super easy. I just always keep it in my freezer. We've got that. If I'm having a hard time, I'll get that.
Yeah.
And then, Aislinn, do you want to hand me the pinto beans and I'll put those in? Yeah. So we just have 1 can of pinto beans drained, and you can use any type of bean you want. You could also, if you wanted to, you can cook your beans from dry and just have them ready to go. But once you do that, this comes together really quick. Now our last thing we're going to add is we're going to actually add a 1/2 cup of bulgur, but to go with that, Aislinn, we need a 1/2 cup of water. Do you want to go over to the sink and get a 1/2 cup of water?
1 cup?
1/2 cup.
Okay.
1/2 cup water goes with the 1/2 cup bulgur. So this bulgur is really going to add to the flavor and make this a really hearty chili. Okay, so bulgur is just, it's actually the whole grain wheat. It's just cracked and parboiled, so it does cook a little quicker. But we've got to add some water with that. And the recipe says a 1/2 cup. We're going to start with a 1/2 cup, but you may want to add more, just depending on how thick you like your chili. Sometimes I do actually add a little bit more. And when you do add more liquid, again, I want you to keep in mind, that you probably want to add a little bit more seasoning. And then you can also add salt and pepper to taste to this recipe. Okay, so you may want a little bit of salt and pepper as well. But I think we may end up adding a little more chili powder. Right now, though, what we need to do is we need to let this simmer. So we're going to cover it, let it simmer, and let the bulgur cook. Which, again, bulgur is pretty quick cooking, which is nice. And usually takes about 10 minutes. But again, I would really say check it. I usually do end up adding a little bit more water, okay? Because we like a little bit more broth in there. So definitely check it during your 10 minutes. Don't just walk away. Okay, here we go. We're going to check it. Of course, we always want to lift the lid away from us so we don't get a steam burn, right? All right, and Aislinn and I have stirred it several times within the last 10 minutes, and we also added a ½ cup extra water. Okay, so we added another ½ cup of water for a total of 1 cup. So I know the recipe does say ½ cup, but we always end up adding extra. So really keep an eye on it and do that as needed. We added a little more oregano, but we didn't feel like it needed anything else. We didn't add any salt or pepper. We didn't add anything else except about a ½ teaspoon more oregano. So it looks good. The bulgur has absorbed most of the water. This is a very delicious hearty chili, and I know you enjoyed your taste testers, which that's the thing. If you're taste testing, we always get clean spoons, right? And don't double dip. Okay, so are you ready to get a bowl? You want to hand me your bowl? Hand me your bowl, and you can grab your cheese that you get to sprinkle on top. All right. Looking good. Have to call your dad in for lunch, too. Think he'll be ready. All right, look at that. And can you even tell where the mushrooms are anymore?
Nope, I don't know where the mushrooms went. I have a joke about mushrooms, Mom.
You do?
Yeah. What did the mushroom say to the other mushroom?
I don't know.
You are a fun guy.
That's pretty good, Aislinn. Pretty good. All right, so what Aislinn's done here, she added some nice shredded cheese to it. You could also add, I like avocado on there sometimes, some diced onion, even a little light sour cream. That's a delicious lunch. I'm going to grab a bowl for myself. And with that, we're going to sign off. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Food here always fun. Yeah.